Max Rich with Totally Electric Guitars here. You just heard me kind of messing around with a little chord progression, just kind of like improvising an idea, using open chords and little simple ways of varying open chords, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about. Basically, when you're starting out playing guitar and you're like learning chord shapes and you're learning how to play rhythm guitar, because let's face it, rhythm guitar comes before lead guitar, or it should anyway. When you're learning how to do that, it's very often the case, I find, like students will play a chord, you know, say, okay, 2 measures of an A minor chord, and they'll play just kind of that kind of a thing, right? Just very standard, straight ahead. And very often, once you get to the point where your right hand is comfortable enough strumming chords and you no longer have to think down, down, up, 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 down, you know, that kind of a thing. When your right hand, or your picking hand I should say, is comfortable enough kind of just going on its own, free-flowing sort of an idea, then you can begin to focus on your left hand and say, or your fretting hand, and say, okay, well, how do I make this A minor chord more interesting than just a simple A minor? And the easiest solution is to really, when you're beginning out, is to play with other notes that are part of the chord, or can be used as just like little, not quite melodies, but little colors that you add to an A minor chord. So I'll give you just a simple example. If you take an A minor chord and you take your first finger off, you end up with an A sus2 chord. And that's just a very simple way of making an A minor chord, when you're playing an A minor chord with a band or with a backing track or something, to make that A minor chord stand out and have a little bit of personality rather than just kind of like a stagnant, boring A minor chord. You can do... And at the same time, you know, like you're playing that A minor tonality, that A minor sound, but you're including a little kind of movement in the chord. And if you can multiply that by 2 or 3 different movements per chord, then you have a lot of material to work with, and you have a really good way of kind of playing through like a simple chord progression, but kind of jazzing it up and keeping yourself interested and challenged so that you can begin to understand more complex chord melody, and where you're playing actual melodies on top of chords rather than just messing around with a few finger changes. But what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to show you how to vary some of the like most standard open chord shapes using this idea of taking a finger off or adding a finger, or changing a note just slightly, and then we're going to put that into context using like the bit of the chord changes from House of the Rising Sun. So make sure you got your chord shapes, you know, your standard like A minor, C major, D major, F major, E major, these kinds of shapes. Make sure that you can understand how those shapes work, and if you don't really have a good basis for that, you should jump back and check out some lessons I did on major and minor theory and chords so that you can kind of get up to speed. But for those of you out there who are up to speed and who are aware of what these chords are and how to play them, but are just not sure how to take them to the next level, well then follow me, because I'm about to show you how.